Hey guys, it's Julie from Craftaholic Mama. I was just going to show you guys how I do my sublimation mugs real quick. This is just on a last minute order. So from right here, I am going in and printing out my transfer, and I'm doing it on mug-sized paper that I got from Condi.com. So I go and I set it to the main tray and then photo matte paper for the best print. Also, my design is mirrored because once I put it onto the mug, it is going to be flipped the other way. So from here, I am printing it out, normally pretty fast for a mug. Other transfers will take a little bit longer. Mine shows a little error because my ink is running low, but it's perfectly fine. So now that is printed, what I do is I go over to my press and I heat it up to 400 degrees for 200 seconds. Depending on the press, you will have to play with the time. It also depends on where you get your mugs from. I got mine from Coastal Business Supply. Sorry, my screen's a little bit shaky. This was just a really fast video. So from there, I take my mug and then I take my transfer and I line it up to how I want it. Once you line it up, I take heat transfer tape, which I also got from Condi, and I just cut off little pieces and then tape it on and then reline it. And you want to make sure that you hold it out so that way you can see exactly how it's going to look whenever you're holding the mug, because you don't want it to be off center or too close to the handles. If you get it too close to the handles, sometimes it will cause a fading. You also don't want to get it too close to the top or the bottom because it will also fade as well. Also, what you don't see is I have that little yellow bucket back there full of hot water, so that way I can stop the sublimation process after it's done in the heat press so I don't get ghosting. So from there, I take butcher paper or parchment paper and I wrap it around the mug so that way you don't have any bleeding coming out and getting onto your mug press, because then whenever you do other transfers, it's going to transfer onto that mug and it's going to mess up your mug. So I put not transfer paper, sorry you guys. I put the paper over the mug and then I slip it into my mug press. And then once it's in there, I push it all the way over to the side where the transfer's at, and then I close the mug press. I let that set for 200 seconds, and then once you take it out, you got to be careful because it is super hot. And like I said, you want to have a bowl of hot water right there. If you do cold, you're going to break your mug. So you have a bowl of hot water right there, and then once it is done cooking, you immediately take it out and put it into the hot water. You're going to hear it sizzle and crack, which is completely normal. You're not breaking your mug as long as your temperature is hot. And then I use a little scaler that I also use for weeding to be able to get the tape off of the mug because it is super hot. You will burn yourself. So right here you can see that I am dipping it, and you can kind of see some of the bubbles, and you can see that it's super hot inside of the water. So I'm taking that little scaler and I'm peeling off the tape, because if you can do it without the hot water, you can put it in front of a fan, but you're more likely going to have some ghosting, which is little fades of like the black or whatever color you have on your mug. So I take off the tape, stop the sublimation process, and then I rub off all the residue because some of the ink does leave like residue, so that way it doesn't get stuck onto my mug. And then after that, it is finished. It's a pretty simple process. You just have to get down your timing and your heat with your mug press. All right, well, thank you.